Everybody, welcome to Speedbump. It's time for our game of the month. This is the one I announced before, so Bananner Nababber 2, Bananner Nababber sequel.
Bananner Nababber. Bananner Nababber.
Well, let's just go to our game reveal screen. See what you wrote.
No, not what I wrote. What the dev wrote.
You still wrote it, you just copied it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a nice sunny day in Neo-Tartaria, and ruthless killer Harry Pipples and his pretend friend Humpty Ho are guzzling down some sputzels and racking up a debt in the bar. Our life of luxury is soon interrupted, however, when news about the Elder Demon's crypto schemes became public knowledge. Energy generation is diverted from the population to crypto mining, and if no one intervenes, the precious lives of all Neo-Tartarians are in danger. As the chilly Neo-Tartarian winter draws near, only one question remains. What is a Bananner Nababber? Pick one of 6 fighters into the lands of Neo-Tartaria to do battle against the mystical Elder Demons and their evil schemes. Destroy them all, one at a time, in epic 1 vs 1 duels to the death. Each one more difficult than the last. Sniff out mysterious hidden secrets to help you on your journey, and hold on to your hat. Witness the heart-wrenching lore that will have you reeling for days. 6 mildly unique characters. 6 disgusting bosses. Strong anti-cryptos based on the subpar indie game from aeons ago. Contains jokes, retro 8-bit nostalgia childhood graphics, and sounds. Well, I'm sold. I have seen this game. We raced it a little bit before.
I'm not interested in the jokes. I'm here for to find out what a Bananner Nababber is.
What is a... Maddie seems to know who Harry Pipples is. I sure am not one of the 3 people that do.
Is this like a totally inside joke for exactly one country in the world?
Oh, I see.
Okay.
I feel like more people would understand that than 3. But not me. I still don't, in fact.
Yeah, it's got an itch.io page, and it's also got a Steam store page as well.
Yeah, this game is, if it's not out already, it's out damn soon, is my understanding. So we have decided...
August 8th, I believe, is the release date on Steam.
8 days after the birth of George Jetson. Not bad.
Important. That's an important date.
We are ready to go. I have our 3 players here.
All right, then I'll give them the countdown. What setting should I tell them? Do we want to fix a seed? Do we want to give them a difficulty setting?
We might as well fix the seed to 1,000 or something like that.
Got it.
Just why not? We have the option. We'll start on normal, and if they beat it, they can go through on hard and do another one. Because there is a hard mode of this, and there are unlockable characters, as we just read, that are radically different. And, what a soundtrack.
It is bumping.
There is a hard mode.
Confirmed bumping.
It's basically Castlevania, like DS and onward, those kind of fights are happening, and the hard mode does give them new moves, so I'm interested in that.
All right, I'll tell them to go ahead and select normal to get to the character select screen.
Whenever you give them the go-ahead, I'll start the clock.
I have given them the countdown. It is time for them to race.
Clock is on. So yeah, this game is going to be completely free. You can already probably access mostly what they're playing now. Get your practice in for the real game when it's almost done here in a week. I've been in communication with the dev about this. I was excited to meet them because I had played Bananner Nababber when it came out. Me and 10 other people, maybe. I don't know. I have no idea how popular homebrew stuff was, but I was into it big time. At the time. Played lawnmower every day. Here's your first boss.
I don't want to suggest any impropriety, because there really aren't all that many rules about what we do here on Speedbump. But I gotta tell you, our players are crushing this boss so quickly that I can't help but think, what if they spent the whole day practicing for this?
Yep, this is one of the rare times where I tell them the game ahead of schedule. We almost never do that.
Yeah, we mentioned it actually about 6 hours ago, so it would have been only too easy for
Well,
our
I
players.
mentioned it last week as well because that's
Oh,
when
that's
the
true,
release
yeah.
date was getting announced, so they had a chance to warm up if they wanted to. I'm gonna go ahead and configure the widgets on the clock there because we are going to probably run this game for a couple weeks, right? 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love that. This game was a ton of fun when we did the original, and so getting to do the sequel again, I'm really looking forward to. I hope people enjoy it. The one major criticism I think people had with the original when we did it on Speedbump was just the issues with how mash heavy this game was, and the dev added an auto fire in the MISC settings, and I've told our players at least that for the purposes of Speedbump, they can use whatever miscellaneous settings they'd like to. I'm not sure if there's any miscellaneous settings in there that we wouldn't want, but certainly the auto fire is welcomed.
Yeah, there's only a couple good ways to do this kind of game, and mashing is obviously the worst choice to go with. That's definitely the drawback of the first game. Like, the fix for that would be either to have really strong projectiles or a charge shot like Mega Man has that just does a ton of damage and you only fire it once in a while. Or this, where you take, this is like Contra style, where you get the machine gun and you just blast them. And I think the other characters do have different weapons. It's been a little while since I played this, but they do differ in that regard. But there's a lot of stuff you can do. And with this main gun, your goal is just to take the shots as they come in.
We told our players that if they finish, to feel free to go ahead and take a look at the advanced modes on stream, because there are some differences and it's kind of interesting to look at them. Though, I mean, I guess we won't run this race any longer if all of them finish, which they're all doing such a great job. I'd be surprised if they don't actually finish this relatively soon.
I didn't have too much trouble on normal mode when I tried this, and then I switched to hard mode, and the first boss was pretty rough. It took me a while to take him down, and I don't know exactly what the change was, but it had to be something because I was suddenly having a really hard time. Probably just more stuff going on.
Sure.
Can you send me that banana image?
Can I send you the one?
Yeah, the image itself.
Okay.
I'll put it on the website here.
You got it, boss. Image incoming.
And then I'll find this itch.
Yeah, it's also on Steam, though I guess you said it's going to be free on itch. I don't know if it'll be free on Steam as well. I think it will be. I think the devs specifically said they wanted to keep it free. This is a recut of the... I mean, these are all pretty much direct homages to the bosses from the first game, right? But like, this one is definitely the same as, like, functionally, at least, very similar to the third boss in the original game.
There's definitely some callbacks here.
And it was Gaffadil, if I'm not mistaken, that won the month that we did Bananner Nababber, right?
That sounds right.
I believe Gaffadil was the one who won when we did Bananner Nababber originally.
I'm updating speedbump.run, which is where you can go when we're on top of updating it to see the game that we're currently doing.
Eric's is the only one that's made it to the next boss. Eric's got through boss 2. Both Digi and Gaffadil are still on boss 2.
There is a thing you can do on boss 3, I think, that was pretty interesting, and I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what the heck is going on. It's one of the secrets, I guess, of this. There is also little collectibles you can get to unlock characters. But the secret that I found, and it's the stage that, yeah, Eric's is on right now, you can kill this boss instantly. Or yourself.
Really?
If you do it. If you do the thing. And the way to do it is... It makes sense. It's just hard to control a little bit. I don't know if I could reproduce it every time, but it is a... I think it's the easier way to do this boss, because this boss is very strong. Yeah, they've done it. Okay, so there goes this TNT, which is lethal to everybody. And if you can happen to catch the boss in that blast, and not you, you're in business.
Gotcha. How much health does this boss have?
Okay, I need to make a little WordPress post. 3 weeks, 6 days, 3 hours, 29 minutes, and 5 seconds. It's your world record clock time for this game.
There you go.
But I'm interested in seeing people play this just in general. If you want to pick it up in casual, I'd probably be looking around on Twitch looking for people playing this, because, yeah, it's awesome. This is the kind of game I'm into. This is why I want to see people play the Castlevania games and stuff, because I love this kind of fight. But these are much more in depth than those. I think the obvious thing there is that those are Metroidvanias, so they have to have like 20 bosses. So they only have like 3 or 4 good ones. And they're not usually... I mean, there's a lot going on here. I like the little dude. He's just very tiny. Gives you a whole lot of screen space to work with. It's very controllable. It's tight. Everything just feels good. It's a really nice gaming experience that I like.
Eric's is making a little bit of a break for it. Already on boss 4. The other two are still having some challenges with boss 2.
I think the 4th boss isn't too bad. At least for me, I controlled that pretty well. You can fly a little bit with Harry Flower Power here, or whatever his name is. And you can get out of the water with that.
Right. If you don't have that character, are you basically just trapped in the water?
A lot of the characters have double jump or something like that in their own way. That's the main difference, is the weapon and the movement. I think the hitbox might also be different, but mostly it's a different weapon and radically different movements on each character.
So Gaffadil is now on boss 3, so we've got some spread now. We have Eric's on 4, Gaffadil on 3, Digi's still on 2.
Who was the winner of Adventures of Pinocchio? Was that the video we watched last week? Was that Moonberry?
I believe so.
Adding this data to the data. Don't want to fall behind on my website.
Yeah, Moonberry had the 1444. I just wanted to confirm. Oh, did Eric's find like a nice little safe spot to stand in? Look at this.
Huh. That's interesting. I don't know how effective it is. It looks pretty good, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, he had pretty much a clear shot on the boss for quite a while. Wow. That's a really effective strat for that boss.
Likely for the speed run here, we're going to be sticking with Harry.
Would be interesting if some other boss or some other character were somehow better, but there is a time associated with going back and selecting a different character.
All right, quest complete.
Wow.
The thing with this brain monster is you got to watch out for the floor collapsing if you're hanging on top of it too much. You have a float you can really get a lot of airtime with. Make this a lot easier if you, as Mario 3, those platforms that fall, it works like those, sort of. Once they're gone, but you can keep jumping to keep them from having pressure.
Right.
If you fall, you're finished, though. I think we had the Devon here for commentary, and they were talking about maybe changing that. It looks like they didn't. It looks like we still got the death pit. But I really didn't have too hard of a time with it. So, I mean, maybe I played too much Bananner Nababber, but...
And what would you have other than the death pit?
I don't know. I mean, if it were me designing it, I would first probably try taking some health off of them and springing them back up with like how Beat grabs you in Mega Man, where you just get carried up to a point.
Yeah, or I guess you could have just like a ground down there that just hurts you and you can jump back.
Yeah, that's probably even better because that is easier to make. I would imagine just acid that's in the sky and hurts you a little bit. But the pit adds something. Like it's not the same fight. The pit being dangerous adds a whole lot of stress.
Right.
It's very hard though. This is definitely a struggling point for our players from what I saw. And I think the Plague Beetle there, number 3, is the rough customer for the whole crew. He's definitely the hardest one for me. But the way you can skip phase 2 with that dynamite kind of makes it maybe not too bad. I'm not sure. Like, you really don't have to deal with much if you set that off. And I think that's going to be the ticket.
I think that's a clear from Eric's.
Yeah, I think so. That is 14-15.
All right, so we've got our 1407 from Eric's.
I'm going to switch audio. The Gaffadil screen.
Gaffadil heading into boss number 5. Wonder if Gaffadil knows the same secrets as Eric's? Gaffadil's paying a lot of attention to this left eye in a way that makes me think Gaffadil knows what's up.
Do you remember who won Mr. Tough? I'm gonna have to look it up anyway, so don't worry about it. Let me. I need to catch up on the website here. It was. Online.
Did Mr. Tough resolve itself?
You might be right. That might be. Somebody did sealed bite though. Who's the sealed bite winner? That's what I gotta look up. Sealed bite. I think that's
and nobody
changed.
won Mr. Tough. That's for sure.
Mr. Tough was tough. Too mean to do.
Anyone who played Mr. Tough lost. Oh, Darkman's actually been keeping track of it. So Darkman's gonna link you to some info.
Okay. Yeah, the website's behind. That's my bad. Oh, look at this. This is great.
Did Eric's choose struggle? I mentioned to Eric's give advanced a shot, but I didn't see what difficulty he chose.
It's hard to tell. But if they're having a bad time all of a sudden, and they look like they are, I would say so. There are nose hairs, I believe, is the collectible that you need to find in each level. There's one to get characters unlocked.
Alright, so we got Gaffadil going up against the final boss now. This character can jump so much.
Yes.
Is Harry wearing shades? It doesn't look like shades to me. Is that shades?
Don't mind me, I'm just updating the old records here. I want my archive page on the featured games list to reflect when we failed and all of that, to get a game cleared or when anything was done. And so Adventures of Pinocchio needs added. Demon Burst.
There we go, Gaffadil with a clear.
55. Digi's still working on it. They're gonna be there soon though. They're gonna be on that final boss. Time to spare, I think. Because they're cruising right now. All right. I wonder what changes. I don't feel like there were too many. Like we did a race of this because it was nearly done at the time when we did it.
Yeah, it seems similar at least. I don't know. There may have been some balancing changes, but nothing stands out to me as obvious.
I'm not sure. It looks pretty similar to the game I played, which is great. But yeah. I'm excited to see what we do with this one because we absolutely destroyed Bananner and Nababber in terms of we did allow turbo because That was
because it is. It was 2021 or 2020 or whatever year.
Yeah, we decided that that was not a game we wanted to mash on runs for. And we ended up beating it in a matter of minutes. I definitely didn't expect that. I didn't expect
Yeah,
that.
it ended up being like a 3-minute run, right?
Yeah, one of our faster ones. I think the one that blew my mind the most was probably that one indie game that was the Ghouls and Ghosts like that we did on Steam. The name escapes me at the moment.
Oh, Cask of the Seven Godsends.
Yeah, Cast of the Seven Godsends. That one really cruised big time.
That was a deceptively good speedrun in the end. Didn't expect it.
I loved it. Okay, basically I've added the whole year of games now to the website here. Which is a Pinocchio.
Yeah, that's the thing that always made the original Bananner Nababber so fascinating to me, was that when we were originally planning to have it, Smite was confident that people would be able to get it under 20 minutes, and it ended up being 3.
I feel like that is what happened with a couple of these. Like, I got the list in front of me, so it looks like Darkman's list is much better than mine. Hopefully I'm not missing too many games here. When that game, Cast of Seven Godsends, came out, I was playing it. I thought it was neat in a janky, silly way. I have a soft spot for Ghouls and Ghosts games, I guess, and when they play well, even if they're a little silly. And I found all the secrets in that, and I feel like I was the only one who ever did for a long time, and people were looking at that YouTube video, and I'd get comments on them like 5 years later. Weird comments, people looking at the video for help, and me not really making a tutorial on how to do it. I'm just playing it, and I'm just like, here it is, in the middle of the video, and they're asking me like, hey, how do you do this? And I'm like, do what? I don't remember that stuff.
I get that sometimes with a YouTube video on, what's the name of it? I can't remember the name of the game anymore, but it's one where I just did 100% playthrough on stream and uploaded it, and it still gets tons of views, people trying to figure out how to beat the game.
Okay, I am all up to date.
Bird King was the name of it.
The devs really had a good time with that Cast of Seven Godsends. I managed to get them a viewing of it a little bit, and we were basically falling through, no clipping through the sky, just cheesing all the way over, getting the bad ending as quickly as possible, which is like a weirdly animated, silly thing that I loved every time I got to see it. I assume you've seen the full ending at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, the speedrun that I'm most known for is Rogue Legacy 1, which is no longer the world record, but was for a long time. I kind of fell into it, and I never got questions asking how I did it. I only got commentary saying that I faked it. Because the export from YouTube to Twitch lost a couple frames. Even though the Twitch source is still up, and you can see it without that happening. The reason why I never re-uploaded it is because with a couple of ads on that video that got 1 million views, I was actually making a couple $1,000s off of that one video, which is like, if I take it down, I'll lose all those analytics and it won't be getting that anymore. But like, at this point, that is like literally 10 times more money than I get off YouTube a month. And that was just that one video was doing that well.
We got about 5 minutes left. Digi's making good progress. This is the next to last boss. And this one feels... You know, the last boss is probably harder, but this one feels trickier to me. If you don't have like some sort of trick in mind of how to solve it, this one feels like the one that would probably trip me up longer.
This one made me think of Meat Boy and platforming around, dodging things. Now I have a gun. But I didn't have trouble with it because that's what it reminded me of, and I have fondness for that game. I thought it was perfect. I no longer think it's perfect. It plays like a Flash game. I don't know why I thought it was good to play then. It was just so slick, and you could design your own levels. They ruined that part of it, but it felt so good to play for some reason, even though you could accidentally fall through the floor or up the wall or all this other Flash nonsense if your frame rate wasn't 60, a perfect 60. But at the time, I really liked it a lot, and I definitely thought it was the greatest platformer ever.
It was certainly a good game for the time, and I think it's still a good game, just not perfect.
Super Meat Boy Forever, on the other hand, I really didn't like even a single bit. Can't believe they remade Meat Boy's license and they didn't just make a better modern platformer. They made this weird auto runner, and I hated every second of it.
I get it. Yeah. If you just said Bubsy instead of Super Meat Boy, I get it.
Digi has reached the final boss with 3 minutes left. I have faith.
I think Digi can do it. I think Digi will do it.
This is one of these bosses that it sort of gets easier as it goes on if you don't get clobbered too much. And then it goes to phase 2 and it gets hard again. And if you have not kept your platforms around, you might be in a little bit of trouble. So I think what you should probably do is try and exercise as much land shots as you can. Yeah, we did Super Meat Boy races. This is like back before anyone did any kind of racing online at all. We had to manually edit them together. It was a lot of work. There was no broadcasting of that stuff at the time. And I feel like I was one of the first people to do that too, but that's besides the point. At the time we were racing Meat Boy before we should have been, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And nobody's computer could really do it and record at the same time. And Psychedelic Eyeball had like a 10 FPS at the Cotton Alley at the end file, and he was doing one of the levels where you have to be chased by the wall closing in on you, but the wall in front of you goes at the same pace. And it was absolutely impossible. I have a GIF of it somewhere. You just couldn't possibly have done it. Like, it was like 10 seconds away from... Because the latency of that game gets worse and worse to the point where you fall through the platforms.
Right.
Incredible game. Doing the I Want to Be the Guy stage with that latency. Yeah, we did, I wasn't the first one to organize the races. That kind of, I don't know why, but the person who was organizing the Meat Boy races, like, just quit in the middle of the tournament, and I decided I would learn how to do AV Synth and start making them myself to get that race going again, so we had to restart. And then I somehow ended up being the champion of organizing all of them. For the rest of my life, I guess.
You just became the guy.
I was all keyed up to speedrun Mega Man 5. I was learning it. I was like, I'm gonna be a real speedrunner boy. AGDQ was just like starting up that year. I'm like, this is my chance. And I got it down to like 50 minutes. I'm like, hell yeah, no one's topping this. And then Biggle got like 40 minutes, no time at all. Just absolutely smoked me. It wasn't even close.
Yeah. Oh god. Did you falling right there?
They actually did Rogue Legacy 1 at AGDQ, and I was not in a broadcaster place yet where I could have handled doing that on stage, because I could have done a pretty damn good time in that setting. And that was the one chance I had to be on that stage. I guess I could do Tetris, maybe, if I really trained. Because you guys, you really like Tetris, I guess. You
Tetris
like
people are wild, man.
I need to practice.
Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt you one bit, but I've seen Tetris players, and at this point, I realize the rabbit hole goes so deep on that game.
30 minutes has been struck. We didn't make it for Digi. The other players, I think they're on hard mode on the same hell boss Gaffadil's trying a different character still. Yeah, that's right. The plague bug poisons you. There's status effects in this game. Well, if you want to call it.
Yeah, let's call it.
This is Bananner and Nababber. We're going to be working on this game for 4 weeks. We're going to be looking for tricks. It's still maybe going to get a couple minor patches. I think it's mostly done now, though, and it's available for you.
Yeah, for the time being, we'll be doing runs on this version. If there's any changes between this version and it actually releasing, to my knowledge, on August 8th, we'll almost certainly just wipe the slate clean and default to the whatever the current patch is. So do keep that in mind. Feel free to do some runs. We encourage you to do some runs. We'd love to see some progress be made on this, and all of your skills should probably transfer over, but if any changes are made between this version and the release, then we'll probably just have to wipe the slate clean.
Yeah, so that's our game of the month. I don't know about a prize. We may or may not have one. I'll figure that out soon. But that's what we're going to be doing for 4 weeks. We're going to be investigating it, looking for strats, trying to get some more records done. I think that one thing that you're going to need to figure out consistently, it's going to be a little tough, is that bug that was giving our players some trouble just now. That TNT trick, I think, is going to be super good, because skipping phase 2 on that is not only easier, but it's got to be faster.
Sure.
Just instant death for that boy. And the way to do it, I think, if I'm remembering right, is to attack the skulls when you can, and you blow up enough of them, and the skeleton boss is like, hey. He just throws this at, like, it's something like that. And he actually comes out and says, hey. Like the dev recorded himself saying that or something like that, I think.
That's good.
What else? We can do a Royal Rumble pack next week if you want, which is a 16-player elimination race. If you're interested in that, folks, we'll have a sign up for you soon. I'll probably be streaming.
We'll get some games together for that.
I probably will be streaming some Bananner and Nababber because it's good. I'm going to try and persuade Pit Crew to do it a little bit. It's fun. I feel like I was going to say something else. Cannot remember, though. I think that might be it. No. Oh, we don't have Bizarcade Pit tomorrow. Yeah, that show is on the back burner while I update it with the things that I learned when I did 5 of them for charity. Yeah. But we will have.
Is that settling into a regular time slot? Like, are you going to start doing weekly shows of Bizarcade Pit, or is that only going to be pulled out for special occasions?
It's a bit exhausting, but I might do it once or twice a month.
Okay.
8 players isn't too hard.
It's a lot to wrangle. It's a lot to wrangle.
Yeah, my website actually does a pretty good job of organizing that. But yeah. Thanks for coming by, everybody.
Take it easy.
I'm gonna get back into the Breach. I haven't beat the last team yet. I'm almost done with that. I'll be doing that later tomorrow. Have a good night.
Later.
Why don't we host on over? Who's online here? I see somebody playing Adventures in the Magic Kingdom, but it looks like they're doing something weird. So let me host this Donkey Kong Country 2 any percent that Toe-chan is doing. That game speedrun is so bad to do. I can't believe people can stand it. It's like, that's beyond my patience. That game is nuts. That's so tight and tough. So check that speedrun out. You want to see a really difficult one. It's in my top 5 for like most difficult speedruns that I've ever seen, where Mario 3 probably is the first one, with some of the stuff you have to do with the RNG and that, and still make a perfect run happen. That DKC speedrun is so complicated. Have a good one, everybody.